Hello and welcome to your weather today. I'm meteorologist Dooley Goudeau with your work week forecast coming up for the next 5 days. But first, we want to talk about some important things that's going on in the southeast right now. If we look down in Mississippi and Alabama, we can see Louisiana and again by Houston, showers and very strong thunderstorms have developed in the southeastern United States. There is a weather system moving through here, and you can see those thunderstorms down around Starkville and Montgomery, Alabama, and Mobile, Alabama. There are several severe thunderstorm warnings as well as several tornado watches in effect down across the southeast, as we can see those thunderstorms moving in and coming onshore down around New Orleans and moving onshore. When we have those thunderstorms, remember, severe thunderstorms are capable of producing winds in excess of 60 miles an hour, large 1-inch diameter hail, and torrential rain. And so we want to watch for that. And these thunderstorms are capable of producing tornadoes. Some tornadoes could be large, so also want to be on the lookout for that activity and be prepared to take action should you be affected by an active tornado warning. So be prepared to seek shelter immediately. So that's the big story right now in the United States, is that severe weather down across the southeast. As you can see, there's a little bit of wind chill. We got wind chill advisories across the north and wind chill advisories here in Minnesota where I live. Again, there's under clear skies, so you can see the clearest day is going to be somehow be the coldest days in the winters here, as we can see, as those as it's pretty clear across the north, and we have a weak weather system, a little bit of activity moving into the Pacific Northwest, moving into the mountains of Idaho and Montana. I can see a little bit of rain in the valleys and some mountain snow on the in the northwest up there. So that's the next weather maker moving into the Pacific Northwest. That's going to affect mostly the tier. This is going to become an Alberta Clipper later in the week, and it's going to affect North Dakota and the northern portions of Minnesota. So we'll see that about midweek. And so now let's move on to our forecast models as we take a look at the models for the next 5 days. And we're going to move on to our GFS model. This is the GFS model for our current conditions right now. Let's move this so that you can see those thunderstorms across the southeast. As you can see those storms moving across the southeast, a little area of low pressure here over Alabama, and this is going to snake its way up the eastern seaboard and probably just go offshore and affect mostly the mid-Atlantic and the southeast with those showers and thunderstorms. As we can see, they're going to really blow up here across central Mississippi and Alabama and northwestern Georgia. They're going to see those thunderstorms for today, and those will move off quickly. They're moving off pretty quickly, so they'll move offshore tomorrow. So they'll be off the eastern seaboard. This front will be across central Florida, so Florida should be on the lookout for strong showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, as well as cooler temperatures, as there's a little cold air moving in behind that front. You see this northwesterly flow here moving in behind this front as it interacts with those thunderstorms. That cold air and that really warm soupy air out ahead of that front is the catalyst for these thunderstorms, that battle between that warm and cold. So this cold high pressure is going to move across the southeast and help to push that front on into central Florida and off the eastern seaboard. So we are going to look at our Monday forecast on the GFS, and this is going to take us into, let's adjust this so that we can see, as we can see, that front has moved off the east coast completely by tomorrow. See, there's going to still be some scattered showers along the southern Georgia, but it's a little bit less energy, so I don't expect to see any big thunderstorms, but maybe a couple rumbles of thunder, some showers, and it's going to move across. And we're going to be in that strong northwesterly flow here in the north with more cold air. And we're going to look at some of our temperature anomalies coming up here so that we can see exactly how cold it's going to get this week. So we are going to have that, and that weather system move onshore on the Pacific Northwest. It's going to bring a little bit of rain to southern British Columbia and northwestern Washington. As we take a look at Tuesday in the GFS model, we can see that that weather system has completely moved offshore, has cleared Florida now. You can see some showers and thunderstorms in the Caribbean, as well as southeast, the immediate coastline of Florida. Otherwise, it's pretty quiet across the rest of the nation. As we can see, it seems very calm conditions under a chilly sky here in the north. And we're going to look at our next day, which is going to be Wednesday for us. Wednesday is going to bring us more tranquil weather across the country, as things pretty quiet this week before that potential Arctic outbreak. We think about the 20th or so of next week as we move, a little bit toward the latter half of the month. It looks to be bitter cold according to the GFS. I thought yesterday the GFS was going to pull back from it, but it doubled down today. So it's still, if you look at the long range models, you can still see that potential there for that super outbreak to drift all the way into the southeast, bring bitterly cold, as well as a nor'easter along the east coast. So we're going to keep an eye out for that. And we are going to look for Thursday. For Thursday, we have more of the same weathers, a pretty consistent weather pattern. The area of low pressure develops in the on right off the eastern seaboard of Florida, east coast of Florida. An area of low pressure develops down there and will work its way up the eastern seaboard. This weather system will play a role later in the week. So let's look at what we have for Friday, the 14th. The 14th there's that storm system on the East Coast, rounding up pretty good there. Look at those tight isobars. So that's a pretty deep low. It's a 969 millibars. When I say 900, you use terms like millibar. See, millibars is the measure of air pressure. And when you have a 969 millibar low, that's a really strong low pressure. Below 1,000 millibars is low pressure. Above 1,000 millibars is high pressure. If you want to be above that 1,000 because you're in the high pressure, typically that means fair, nice weather. If you're below that, stormy weather typically. So that's what we mean by when we say millibars, or barometric pressure. So we have a 969 millibar low. It means that air pressure in that storm center is 969 millibars. That's a low pressure, that's a strong storm system. So this storm system, just for giggles and just curiosity, we're going to take a look at Saturday, and we can see that storm system has, according to the GFS, has moved off the East Coast. So it's not going to be a factor for so much for the United States in general as well. The biggest thing I see that storm doing is producing high swells along the East Coast, like the south facing beaches in the Northeast, Long Island, maybe New Jersey, down to Delaware, Maryland, Virginia, and down to Kentucky, Tennessee. Not Kentucky. Kentucky doesn't touch the ocean, but Virginia and Tennessee, South Carolina, and Georgia could see higher swells because of that strong storm system out in the Atlantic, which is going to be fairly close to the coastline, so it's going to produce high surf and swells. So if you're going boating, or boating interests, might be kind of rough seas out that way. And this storm is eventually going to make its way into the North Atlantic, where things can get quite tricky for shipping interests. So they want to keep a track on that, on what's going on there. So we want to take a look at some of our forecasts. Particularly we wanted to look at our temperature anomalies going on here. This is a max temperature as we can see that very cold temperatures here in the north central United States, like Minnesota. We're going to see those single digit highs for today, and then tomorrow we're going to get into more of the same single digit highs above zero, and across the northeast you see those 20s for highs, and pretty nice down in the South Florida is where you want to be, where it's going to be in the 70s in the 80s, and then if you want to be in the Southwest as well, where you can see some of those 70s and 80s. Very beautiful weather for January. We'll take it. I'm sure those folks will take it. But you see, we warm up again as that cold kind of retreats a little bit in the central plains, the northern plains, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, and Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and Michigan. You'll see those. It's been kind of a roller coaster this winter. We've been kind of right on the boundary of the super cold air and slightly warmer air where it's a little bit more tame. And we've been kind of going back and forth as weather systems pass by to the north of us or to the south of us. Their influence kind of make that cold line move back and forth over us and back behind us again. And when you look at us for Tuesday, you see that high for 30 in Minneapolis and 31 in Rochester and those 20s in Wisconsin. That northwesterly flow gets a little bit, it slacks off a little bit, and we'll warm up again. So we're going to play this game of bouncing back and forth between, you see, 34 warm up a little bit more on Wednesday in the northern plains. We'll warm up a little bit. And then Thursday, again, 35. Really nice week ahead for us in the north central states. 32 for Friday. So tomorrow, honestly, will be the coldest day of the next 5 days. So today is the coldest day. Today and tomorrow will be the coldest 2 days of the next 5 to 6 days. So we'll take that and pretty much the 30s for the rest of the 5 days. I'll be back on Thursday with another forecast to get you ready for the weekend. So I'm going to do this every week. Sunday forecast and Thursday forecast to get you ready for your work week and get you ready for the following weekend coming up. So we'll talk about that, what's going on. And that was a look at the weather. So we want to take a look at one more map here. And I guess it's going to be our long range prediction from the Center for our Climate Prediction Center at the National Weather Service is predicting that this is what we'll see for the next 6 to 10 days out. You see they're predicting that we will have cold in the northeast, below average. This is what a 30%. This blue here is 30%. 50% chance of being, no, this is 30%, 40%, and 50%. A 50% chance or higher of being below average. This is a 40% chance, this is a 30% chance, and this here, when you see the white, is equal chances, means it can go either or. It can go above average or below average. And this is above average, 30%, 40%, again 40%. So those color shades, this indicates warmer than average, but this is showing the probability of being above average or below average. It doesn't indicate how much above average. It just indicates that you are going to be above average. So that's what we have for temperature over the next 6 days, 6 to 10 days. And this is our precipitation forecast for the next 6 to 10 days. It shows here that if you see here that we're going to have a 30% chance of being above average in parts of Minnesota, and again in the northern plains and the Rockies down along the spine here, the leeward side of the mountains. Kind of interesting to see this side of the mountains be above average in this area here. Colorado and New Mexico, and then we have that 30 to 40% chance across the southeast. The southeast have seen a lot of rain, so that's been pretty consistent with what we've been seeing. A lot of rain in the southeast and pretty dry conditions out in the southwest, California and Nevada. But they've been getting a lot of snow. It's been pretty wet in northern and central California. Southern California has had a few rounds of heavy rainfall as well. But just because we've seen opportunities for heavy rain doesn't mean that's going to be the trend moving forward. That means the overall pattern is still calling for below average rainfall, even though we've seen heavy rainfall in Southern California in places like LA and San Diego. Vegas and Phoenix have also gotten pretty good rains, but for the general statistics, it's been below average and will continue to be so because this is usually the trend during a La Nina period. In fact, this is the second consecutive winter of La Nina, which is kind of rare that a La Nina or El Nino will last for 2 winters. Usually they start to wane. I would expect this La Nina to dissipate as we get into spring and summer of later this year. I don't expect this La Nina to continue much longer. It might even start to dissipate this winter. But the thing about El Nino and La Nina and these kinds of oscillations and broad scale phenomenon, just because the event may end doesn't mean its effects end, and its effects could last for months after that either the event ends or the event begins. Say El Nino begins immediately after this La Nina, we won't see the effects of El Nino until down the road because there's a delay in that before the effects of that event gets felt by our perception and what we see in the weather pattern. So that is the forecast for this upcoming week. So we just want to know. I just want to say before we go that so this is going to be a pretty quiet week. I think my next week forecast should be a lot more interesting because that potential for a nor'easter, East Coast major storm is being indicated by the GFS at least for the week of the 20th. But the Euro and some of the other models are not on board with the GFS. So with it being that far out, who knows? It may not even happen because the GFS can get wacky sometimes, and I want to look to see if the European model falls in line with the GFS, but it's not right now. In fact, if we look at that, if I look at those days, those same days, Euro and the NAM don't even show it. It's like, what storm? But the GFS seems to think there will be a storm on the east, a major winter storm on the East Coast on the 20th. So we'll see what happens. Okay. So, again, this is my second day doing these forecasts. So this is your weather today. I'm your host. I am a student meteorologist with Mississippi State University. And I will do these shows every week, couple times a week, keeping you up to date. And I will also do shows in when there are special emergencies like what's going on in the southeast with the tornado potential and severe weather events, any major events pertaining to nature and the environment. Will do special reports. I wish I could live stream it on YouTube, but I'm just starting out, so I can't do live streams yet because I don't even have any subscribers really. So we'll see how it goes. And again, I would like to say thank you for watching this video. If you like, please like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Helps me get me into the algorithm, gets my videos picked up. So I will join you again on Thursday with your weekend forecast and outlook. And if any events take place during the week, any special weather emergencies, which I don't see anything happening this week. Thank you again for watching, and remember to please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Have a good week ahead, and be safe out there.